going on? AD's 98.5 KLUC, Las Vegas' #1 hit music station. Now today we're not in the studio. Obviously, we're on location. Couldn't pass up this amazing background in this amazing gym. We're here with yogi, author, mental performance coach, Nike master trainer, Branden Collinsworth. How you doing?
I'm great.
First of all, thank you for your time. I appreciate
absolutely.
you.
Thank you.
There's so many ways we could start here. I feel like first of all, I want to talk about what you do, but I also want to talk about your journey.
Okay.
So I know you're from Las Vegas. You went to school at UNLV as well as UPenn. Take us from there.
Yeah, born and raised Las Vegas, East Side,
Okay.
Nellis and Tropicana.
Woo, East Side.
Until I was 18, I had never left the East Side of Las Vegas. It raised me, it molded me, it groomed me. It was my warrior's rite of passage.
Wow.
Grew up in the streets, grew up hustling, grew up doing whatever I had to do to survive. And I ended up getting caught up and eventually dropped out of high school.
Wow.
So for about 3 years, I just floated. I ended up becoming homeless, hopeless, and really didn't know where I was gonna go in life. And then finally one day, in front of Sam's Town Hotel, I was 18 years old. I decided that I wanted to change my life. And the only way I knew how to do that was to educate myself. So I picked up one book. One book led to 10 books. 10 books led to 100 books. 100 books led to 1,000 books. And over the course of 12 years, I went from being jobless, hopeless, homeless, to becoming a flourishing entrepreneur, humanitarian, educator, and this is only the beginning. So my purpose now in life is to really show people that it doesn't matter where they start, it's all about where they end, and if they really channel in and tune into their heart and their greatness, anything is possible.
I mean, you just wrapped up everything there in a matter of 2 minutes. I don't even think we have to do the rest of the interview, to be honest. No, you spoke on entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
and right now we're in your gym, Real Results.
Absolutely.
This is the downtown location. There's a north location as
Yes.
well. Explain the process of opening this, the idea behind it, and just everything about it.
Absolutely. So Emerson has an incredible quote. He says that there's nothing capricious in nature, that the implanting of a desire means that its gratification is in the constitution of the creature that feels that. So what does that mean? It means that those ahas, those nudges that we have inside, those dreams that we have, those are meant to be brought to reality. Each one of us has something different in us. But our society teaches us to suppress that and say, that's just fantastical, we really can't go after it. The truth, when we do go after it, it will come to life, but we gotta be willing to be persistent. Absolutely. So this right here, when I was sitting at the bus stop, and everybody from Vegas knows how annoying the cat bus is in the middle of the summer. Showing up 45 minutes late, showing up an hour late. But I remember I used to dream of having my own gym. At that time, when I was on the streets, the one thing I could control always was my physical expression. Didn't matter if I didn't have any money or no food, I could still drop and give some push-ups. And I started learning at that time that the physical leads to the mental and eventually the spiritual. So this space right here is really my soul manifesting the reality. This is my thoughts, my neural impulses in a physical expression. A lot of people who pursue entrepreneurship, they go after the dollars.
Okay.
And our society teaches us to go after the dollars.
Money's the root of all evil.
Yes, but the reality is that if you put connection, compassion, and culture over currency, the money will always come.
Okay.
It's about tapping into the frequency of abundance. And when we tap into that place, that's when true magic happens. So this is what this was built off of. We were able to do this. My credit when I opened this was horrible. I had no money. We were broke, but we had a lot of love to give. We got on Facebook, we had our friends donate equipment. This used to be old tortilla storage.
Wow.
Smelled like tortilla.
I had no idea.
Casa Don Juan right behind us.
Makes sense now, okay.
Yeah, and we just made it about love and really touching people, saying, you know what, I see you. And it don't matter if you're out of shape. It doesn't matter if you've never worked out before. You're a part of a team. You're a part of my team.
Yes.
And we're gonna grow together, because it doesn't matter where you are, we all can be better. And so that's how Real Results grew, from me and my partner in 2011 all the way to what it is now with 35 plus employees. And going on three locations and a pop-up gym at Zappos, and doing stuff all around the world.
Oh my
with
gosh.
this. Yeah.
And if you would have never taken that step to dream or believe in yourself, whether your credit was horrible or you were broke or homeless, if you were never taken that initial leap, you wouldn't be here today.
Absolutely. There's always choices. There's always an alternate choice. than what seems presented. You just sometimes have to sit back and really analyze the situation. The world, the universe is a responsive universe, and there are many realities we can tap into. But if we only tap into the one that's presented, or we only tap into the one that's rooted in maybe fear or failure, we cut off the opportunity to tap into those that are rooted in abundance and in alignment with our goals and our dreams.
And to stay on this real quick, you mentioned choices. In your certain circumstance when you were 18, your choices could have gone, I mean, and you can say this for anybody, but your choices could have led you down this path over here, or they could have taken you down the one that you traveled. It could have got a 50-50 chance, essentially.
Right.
But you chose to better yourself and take it to that next level, which I respect.
The best investment of the world. You know, people, you can go invest in Berkshire Hathaway, A stock. You can go throw your money in a bank account. You can go throw your whatever it may be. The best investment always is inside.
I feel like I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
By the way, I got to comment on you. We just talked about this off camera, but you have like the most amazing eye contact. I didn't want. He's like, you got to say the most amazing eyes, most amazing eye contact. So I had to hit on that real quick.
Okay.
Now you're also a Nike master trainer.
Yes.
And shout out to my fiance Janelle. She this is one thing that she looks up to you as a mentor. And she's going to flip when she sees this interview. But she always talks about Nike master trainer and how to get to that level and what it takes. So not only for her, but maybe for somebody else who wants to get to that someday or aspires to be a Nike master trainer of some sort. How did that happen? Did that come to you? Did you reach out for that? Or
Absolutely. With many things in life, most of the time the hardest things to get are actually the easiest because there's no competition. Because people see them and they're like, I can't go after that. So 8 years ago, I was like, I want to work for Nike. I wanted to be a top trainer. I wanted to travel the world and train. I wanted to open my own gym. I wanted to intern with USC's football team, and I wanted to be a Nike master trainer. And at that time, everybody was like, there's no way you're going to work for Nike. Sign a contract with Nike as a trainer. Right. Athletes do that. Laughing at me. So I started emailing them.
Right.
About 3 years of emails. After 6 months of emails, I got my first email that said, we're not interested. But they opened the doorway, and I'm stubborn.
They responded to you.
Yeah, that means they're there. The 3 years of emails, they finally kind of pushed me off to the side. But that energy was there, and I was like, I'm going to make this happen. Long story short, at that time, I was building my credibility in the game as a mental performance coach and a sports performance coach in Vegas. One of the, at that time, directors of Nike training was at a convention, met a girl, and she asked who was the top sports performance guy in Vegas. She said, you need to meet my boy Branden. Woo. He opened the doors once again, opened them briefly, then stopped talking to me.
Okay.
2 years later of calls and all that, they finally gave me my first actual demo interview, and that was all she wrote. Yeah. Since then, it's been 4 years, traveled around the world, helped with so many incredible projects, including the Nike Training Club, but more importantly, bringing yoga to Nike. Okay. That was my big goal. How do you take yoga, a concept that's pretty rooted in the feminine, and start talking about it in a very masculine sports performance way? Not saying that yoga's not to make you flexible. Yoga will actually make you a better athlete, a better person, and help you channel the power that is within. And so that whole entire journey with Nike has been incredible. And I say this all the time. If the first time I went up to Nike headquarters was it, that would have been cool.
Okay.
I'd be grateful for that. Everything else is a bonus. It's a blessing. And if Nike was out of alignment with what I stood for, I don't care if it's Nike.
Right.
I wouldn't do it.
I'm gone.
Yeah. So Nike in all has been just an incredible journey and proof once again that nothing's really impossible unless we put the label of impossible on ourselves.
I like that.
Yeah.
So you talked about Nike. You're also part of it, and I'm not. I feel like I don't understand everything, so this is perfect right now. Warrior retreats.
Yeah.
And that's going to hit on two subjects I want to hit on. Warrior retreats in Peru. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. So I understood. So starting early on in my game, I really was about mastering the physical space, learning everything it was to master this.
Okay.
Physical, the physical aspect of ourselves. But then I knew, in that space, I realized something was missing. I was menteeing under a sports psychologist at that time, and he started talking about things like flow state and optimism and tuning into mindfulness, and I became fascinated with it. So I decided to pursue a master's degree in performance psychology at the University of Pennsylvania, where I really started understanding the mind, but that was still lacking.
Okay.
I had the mind piece, I had the body piece, but what about the spirit? What about the soul of things? And nobody was talking about that. So the only thing I thought that would give me that knowledge was to start traveling and seeing the world and really ask the question, what does it mean to embody spirit? And that took me to Egypt, to India, to Bali, to Iceland. For 3 years, I went to all these places and really started grasping what it meant to really have that trifecta, the mind, body, soul. And it inevitably led me to Peru. And layer by layer, I started diving into Peru and everything that Peru stood for, from the people to the cuisine to the what they call the Pachamama. Pachamama is the energy of the lands, to the Apos. Apos are the mountains that they derive sacred energy from. And it was there, meditating at an ashram, as cliche as that sounds, this epiphany came to me. And this epiphany was rooted in the warrior's rite of passage. I started looking at my life and I was like, you know what? Every struggle that I went through was preparing me to become what I am now. In our life, in our modern day society, we have lost the sense of rite of passage. Back in the day, let's say you grew up into a tribe and you became of age, the whole tribe gathered around you and gave you the tools you needed to really step full force into that next chapter of life. And what did that mean? Sometimes you had to face dragons and demons and beasts. You had to slay certain things so that you could grow and develop that mental, physical, and spiritual resiliency. But in our society nowadays, especially as a young, minority, right, you don't have that guidance. You don't have those people to show you and direct you. And instead of looking at challenges as growing opportunities, we take these challenges as setbacks, or
they're trying to knock you down.
And so Peru, when I was sitting there, I had this epiphany that people needed to experience some type of rite of passage where they get pulled out of their comfort zone in a very safe manner, and where they are able to really step into a place where they are fully seen, where they can tap into their greatness, where they can tap into their heart, compassionate giving, and they can tap into their truth. And with that, I put it out there to my network, and next thing you know, 3 months later, I had 18 people come down for my first warrior retreats in Peru. Blessing.
And what year was this?
It's 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, and then right after that, I followed it up. 15 more people came down, and I'm on to my third one. And every person that's come down has said that it's been the most transformative experience of their life. Warrior Retreats touches on health and wellness. It touches on adventure, truly playing. Like, we get so caught up as adults that we don't play anymore, but truly playing and letting loose. And it also touches into what I believe is the most important thing for all people on this planet to embody, and that is compassionately giving of ourselves. Muhammad Ali said that it is service to others is the rent we pay for our time here on earth.
Okay.
And I always say, I don't care about your level of success. Right. Show me your level of service. And it's really teaching people that no matter how good you have it, there's always somebody that you can share with. No matter how bad you have it, there's always somebody that you can empower.
And you have something to give.
Yeah, so I take them into the hospitals, and you got kids that are dying from terminally ill leukemia, HIV, parents abandon them, quadriplegics who really don't have anything other than their hospital bed to look forward to, but they're still smiling. And then you got people over here balling out with all their stuff in the States, and they're miserable.
Complaining about something small and minute.
Exactly. Once you see something like that, there's really no going back. And with that alone, it's that butterfly effect. You get one person to start operating from a love vibration, more compassionate vibration, and not cliche love like unicorns and butterflies and like let's all hug. I'm talking about like tough love, like what Martin Luther King, what Malcolm X, what Nelson Mandela, what those guys stood for. That type of love is what the world needs right now. Yes. That's what shifts everything. Okay. Like, are you willing to die for love? Are you willing to die for light? Right. And that's what Warrior Retreats embodies. It infuses the warrior soul into people and tell people to really own your stuff.
Yeah, say how you do it.
Own your stuff and stand for it fully. And if you do that, not only are you going to impact the world in a very positive way, But when it's all said and done, you're going to be able to say, yo, I left it all on the table.
In Peru.
Yeah.
I like
in
that.
Peru and in life.
In life, okay.
Yeah.
I like that. And not to simplify this, but they have great coffee down there for people like myself.
Ooh.
Is it?
Peru is one of the culinary capitals of the world. A lot of people don't know ceviche comes from Peru.
And what's ceviche? I'm not even hip.
Ceviche is what people think is a Japanese dish. You eat some ceviche, it's like fish and incredible spices that come with it. But actually originated in Peru, as well as pretty much every superfood that Whole Foods upsells by like 1,000%, from quinoa to maca powder to goji berries.
It's all down there.
They're all Peruvian for like 30 cents. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
You get ripped off if you're at Whole Foods.
So based on talking to you, I know that Peru is your favorite place that you've been.
Yeah.
Where's a place that you haven't been? I know you've been a lot of places. A place that you haven't been that you mostly want to go.
Next year, I will be going to the motherlands of Africa, tapping into half of me. Right. You know what I mean? My mother's Irish, but it's not as fascinating as Africa.
Waffle color brother, I appreciate you.
Yeah, respect.
Please keep pushing us forward. Yes.
So yeah, going to Africa, diving deep into those roots. I feel like there's a lot there. Every time I go to a new place, I kind of allow it to open up to me and just give me what it is. And Africa's been calling me for a very long time. So next year I'm going to go there. In the process, I'm writing a book called I Am Warrior. I Am Warrior is basically a new warrior's code for the modern human.
Okay.
And in doing that, I'm going to go explore different warrior cultures and try to pull value systems from them to share with my brethren. And one of the warriors cultures that I'm very fascinated with is the Zulu tribe, the Zulu warriors. And,
I think about Zulu Nation in New York, but okay, that's where it comes from.
They're warriors too out there, man. Hip hop warriors, concrete warriors.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah, but the Zulu Nation, I want to get out there and I want to really dive in to what they were about. The fact that they were able to do what they did in a time when they were up against insurmountable odds is absolutely incredible.
Dope. Now I gotta ask, for someone like myself, I still don't know what these mean. These letters, these acronyms. I'm a bachelor's, a master's guy, but you have CSCS next to your name, and you also have MAPP. What can you define those for me?
So CSCS is a certified strength and conditioning coach through the NSCA, one of the very few certifications that you have to have a bachelor's degree to get. And in a world of training where everybody and their mama is now a trainer on Instagram, it means a little something. It means that you've actually, you know the technology behind it. Yeah. And then MAP is a Master's of Applied Positive Psychology.
Wow.
That's from the University of Pennsylvania, where I had the opportunity to learn from some of the foremost experts in human flourishing, and probably one of the most transformative couple years of my life. That map right there, so yeah.
Okay. Now, and speaking on the gyms out here, Vegas is, and since I've only been out here for 3 years, but since I've been out here, I feel like I've found that Vegas is very saturated as far as gyms and fitness. Absolutely. And I mean, it's not a bad thing, but would you say that takes away from the fitness industry as a whole, or it pushes it forward?
You only compete when you're on the bottom.
Okay.
When you're in the barrel.
Okay.
I don't operate in barrels. No crab mentality here. So for me, competition's never been a thing. As long as we're shining, as long as we're doing our best, as long as we're leading from the heart, you know, a boutique gym like ours, we have 500 people in our gym, we're flourishing. There's 2 million people in Vegas, so there's enough for all of us to get around. Right. And I'll tell you this, the ones at the very top, they don't compete. The ones at the top in the game, shout out to my boy Justin Blum of Raw Fitness, killing the game. The ones at the very top, there's no competition. We just collaborate because there's more than enough to go around. Let's all eat.
Yeah, everybody eats.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Now for the youth in Vegas, and somebody that maybe is trying to find himself or is a little bit lost in life, or so they think, what is one thing that you, Branden Collinsworth, would leave them with?
Absolutely. The precursor to everything is self-love. Remember that there's never been and never will be again another you. And that's special. Society likes to put people in boxes. Society likes to say if you don't have a 4.0, if you're not the best athlete, if you're not X, Y, and Z, then you don't matter. So we're gonna discard you like trash. But instead, if you really understand your value, which is one of one, never has been, never been again, more valuable than any Lamborghini or Yeezys you could ever pick up.
Yes.
And you operate from that way, you're gonna make choices that are in alignment with your self-worth. And when you make choices that are in alignment with your self-worth, you're inevitably gonna bring your greatness to fruition. So self-love, 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 all day, every day. It's not cliche. Cultivate a habit of that, and everything else changes.
I love it. By the way, I feel this is going to sound cliche as well, but it's not. I feel your energy since we've been in here for about 45 minutes. I feel I can't tell you what it is, but you give off something. I can't put a pin on it. It's not meant to be in a box, but it makes you feel good. So you make people feel comfortable, and I appreciate that. Where can people follow you at?
Branden Collinsworth, at Branden Collinsworth, Instagram, Facebook. I'm not as active, but you can still find me on there. And you come to my gym anytime. I mean, it's a hub. It's a spiritual vortex here. You come here, you tap in. We have a whole entire wall full of quotes. Every member that comes in here, they throw their quotes on the wall. And once again, even if you're not able to see me in person and all that, just remember that I see you because I see humanity. So do you, shine bright, unforgivingly. The world needs it.
There you go. Shout out to Save Me on the artwork, by the way.
Yeah.
And last question. This is going to sound very remedial, but I got to ask, what do you use to keep your teeth white? You got like the whitest teeth I've seen. Like now I'm coming on your eyes and your teeth, but it has to happen.
It's all about that baking soda, guys. That Arm & Hammer baking soda.
Get it whipping. Branden Collinsworth, AD. It's 98.5 KLUC.